Morning, everybody. Welcome to another day with us on the farm here at JSH Rabbits. Today, we're gonna go through how we at JSH Rabbits butcher rabbits. Now, we realize that this topic may not be appealing to everyone, so if you're not interested in what we're gonna show, you can probably watch another one of our videos. However, if you are interested, stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. So here at JSH Rabbits, we operate a commercial rabbitry, and our operation is geared mostly towards producing rabbits for meat purposes. As such, we have a dedicated facility that is designed to aid us in butchering and preparing those rabbits and packaging them properly. So right now, we are actually inside the slaughterhouse facility, and we're going to show you some of the little things that you'll actually need to butcher your rabbits. Simply speaking, you really don't need to have a lot to actually butcher rabbits. So all you need really is a knife and actually some pruning shears. You also need something to hold the rabbit up. So we actually have some stainless steel hooks that we use to hang the rabbits. So when you're butchering one or two rabbits for your own consumption, then persons tend to keep it a bit simple, and they may use just their knife and your pruning shears, as well as some rope that they normally use under a tree. So they butcher the rabbit and process the rabbit under a tree. And that's when you're doing it for your own consumption. However, if you're doing it on a commercial scale, then obviously you would have to butcher under more sanitary conditions. So before we start any butchering session, cleaning is very important. So we actually have our chemicals here that we utilize. This is some soap, and we actually use 5% bleach. So before we start, we wash down the place and rinse, and then we sanitize. Right, and we use our soap and our 5% bleach to help with that.
Normally, we would clean the place before we butcher and also after we have butchered the rabbits.
Alright, so we're gonna start butchering, but before we start butchering, it's very important that your tools are sharp. So one of the things I like about butchering is to ensure that I have a sharp knife. Once we have the rabbit, the first thing we do is we actually stun the rabbit. Now, this method is kind of crude, but there are many other ways you can use to stun a rabbit. You can use like a pellet gun or electrical shock, or some other means. What we do is I hold the rabbit here and I hit the rabbit right in the head. So once we do that, I cut the neck, and this will allow the rabbit to bleed out. Now, what I normally do also is we use the hose right here to basically spray the carcass. Some persons may ask the question, why do we wet the carcass? We do that to prevent the fur from flying around. We don't want the fur to get on the carcass, on the meat, especially when the rabbit is actually of a dark color. The fur tends to show up more on the meat, so we try to avoid that by wetting the fur so that it doesn't fly everywhere and it doesn't go onto the meat. Now that it's all good and wet, we will remove the head. Now, a lot of times persons will actually use the pruning shears to remove the head. We don't necessarily do that. If you hold the head, there is a joint that is right here that you use your knife, and once you find that joint, removing the head is quick and easy. Now, this is where we do something a little bit different. Now, it depends on what you're going to do with the fur, because some persons butcher rabbits and they actually save the fur, they save the skin. We don't. So we make our cuttings based on the fact that we're not saving the fur. What we do is we actually hold the skin here, right at the back leg, kind of like the knee, and we make an incision here. Then we do this for the other side as well. Right, see how my knife is sharp? Then we actually use the knife and run the knife up the leg and do that. And we do this for the other side as well. Now, depending on how you're butchering, or the reason why you're butchering, or if you want to save the skin, some persons will cut like this, from this leg to this leg, this way, but we don't. So once we cut this section, we'll actually remove the skin from the legs, like that. We do that for the other side, just the same. And that's it. Now we would cut the tail off. And I do it from the back. So I put my knife there and cut the tail off. Right? Then, easy as ABC, kind of like pulling off a shirt.
Or a dress.
You do this, right? Now, sometimes persons will cut the feet off before, the front feet. We don't normally do that. So what we do is, we pull the skin all the way down to the feet, and the feet have a joint right here. We cut in the joint. So we position the knife this way and we cut in the joint. See? Feet come right off. And then we put the skin in the bucket. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna wash the carcass off. And you know, it's really convenient to have this type of setup with the hose and everything, so it makes things easier. Right, so now we're gonna basically open up the rabbit. Of course, I'm doing this really slowly because when I'm doing it quickly, it takes a lot less time, and I'll show you that. Alright, so we're going to open up the carcass. So, how I normally eviscerate the rabbit, I would remove the front leg and I would break the hip bone or the pelvic bone. Right? Then I would make a cut all the way down. Now, it takes some amount of skill to make that cut and not rupture the intestines. So it takes a lot of practice to do it that way. But it's a quick and efficient cut, and it allows you to move really quickly when you're actually removing the organs, the internal organs. Some persons may actually use their finger like this, and then they cut like that. But I'm a general, I'm a skill archer. So I can just do that and cut without rupturing the intestines. So based on how we Alright, so we remove all of the internal organs, the intestines, put it in our bucket there. Then we'd use our hose again and wash out any blood. So this is what the inside looks like. So we have the kidneys here and we have the liver. This is what a normal liver looks like. And this is the gallbladder on the liver. And we normally just pick that off. Right? Then now we open the chest cavity and we'll see the lungs and the heart. We cut through the rib cage. So, you know, the lungs is there, this fluffy pink thing.
I think persons call it light.
Yeah, they call it light. And then the heart, this is the heart, right here. So what we normally do is we remove the lungs or the light, and normally, you know, the bronchus comes with it, and you know, the esophagus and stuff as well, right? Then we would basically wash out the carcass again. So with this, we would basically be finished butchering the rabbit. So all we need to do now is to cut the legs off, and that's why we use the pruning shears, or that's when we use the pruning shears. So that's why, as I was saying earlier, you don't really need a lot.
Did I tell him earlier, you know? So we just figure out, say, alright, then if me are gonna normally complain about this, might as well me do it, you know? So that we're gonna talk about. Alright, so.
So this is where we package the rabbits, and this is how we do it. We simply use cling wrap and wrap it lengthwise.
I want him to catch this spot, yeah.
Let's clean it, man. Yeah. Wrap it lengthwise and you know, we cover it properly. Don't put in nice thing. So there we have it. One rabbit, freshly processed and packaged, ready to go. Ready to be refrigerated. So right now, we're gonna speed up the process a little bit and we're gonna do it quickly. Now, I'm a pro, yeah. I can do this pretty quickly, not to toot my own horn, but normally it takes us about 2 to 3 minutes to do one rabbit from start to finish. And sometimes, a lot of times, we're able to process about 16 to 17 rabbits within an hour, right? And to me, that is very good. All right, so we're gonna do it quickly. So come along and see that.
We're going to time it, you know? So we want a timer on the
Really?
thing, you know? We can put on a timer.
Yes.
Alright, so everybody, I don't know if this is going to be in it, but everybody, watch the time.
All right, ready?
Yes, ready?
Go.
1, 2, 3, go.
wonder how I'm doing in terms of time.
Almost 2 minutes.
And
Approximately 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
there we go.
Boss.
So that's it from us here at JSH Rabbits. We hope you found this video interesting and educational. As usual, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you have any comments, you can leave that in the comment section below. Of course, you can also contact us through our various social media handles, and all of that information is in the description. Once again, thanks for watching, and of course, see you in the next one.